Welcome to Conversation Corner. My name is Kunal. Today we are going to talk about how excessive education or schooling can be a disadvantage for adult life. Now, before I go ahead, I know this might sound uh, that I'm saying something very controversial, but just hear me out and you'll understand what I'm trying to say. When we talk about schooling and education, what exactly happens in schooling and education? Let's get to the meat and bones of the issue. You have a syllabus and you have exams, and when you clear exams you go from one grade to the next. So we have grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, up right up to grade 10 here in India at least. And then we have junior college, which in some cases is school for 11th and 12th. But throughout these grades, you have a syllabus, you have exams, and on passing these exams, you get promoted to another grade. What happens here is you have now believed that you do get a syllabus beforehand, you get course material, and you get teachers who teach you the course material. And if you are able to master this course material, you can give the exams, you can clear them, and you can move to the next grade. This is how it differs from real life. In real life, very often to achieve the objectives that you want, at least in the business world, you will not have a blueprint or a guide beforehand. There is a lot of trial and error involved in any project that you want to start, be it business or non business related, and becoming really successful at that doesn't have a blueprint as such. There is a huge amount of trial and error involved, and the reason most people don't want to go through the pain of this trial and error is that the very teaching they received in school was contrary to that. Success in school meant getting as many marks as possible to clear the exam. So making a mistake in and of itself was considered something very bad because you already had the material beforehand which you were expected to learn and apply. So failure in that sense had a very negative connotation. The real world differs from school in the sense that getting success in certain projects does require you to try out a lot of new things. A lot of times, if you just try and apply a strategy blindly, there's a good chance that it won't work out. And sometimes, when a strategy becomes really popular, the huge majority of people start applying it, which is why it no longer is a profitable strategy. So, what tends to happen in most cases is you become very risk averse after going through so many years of schooling. So, anytime you encounter a failure at the very first instance, you feel very disheartened, and there's a good chance you abandon that project altogether. In school, the formula for success was quite simple. You had your course material, you had your teachers. All you had to do was study the material and appear for the exam. In real life, quite often you appear for the exam first, and then you get the results, and then you need to start preparing to give another exam. And even after you do that, there's a good chance that you won't succeed. So, real life comes with a lot of trial and error, while school requires you to prepare your material upfront, which is why people who are highly educated also become very highly risk averse. And you'll see a lot of success stories of people who don't have that much of a background in terms of their education. They came from, let's say, a small town or a tier 2 or tier 3 city, and they were able to successfully launch so many businesses, or one business that became very successful. It's because they did not have all the reasons for why something they do could go wrong. They took action, and through trial and error they succeeded at what they did. However, those of us who have received a lot of education and believe a lot in education are also very risk averse by nature, which is why we tend to do things only we are good at, and we tend to become very narrow and focused. But what happens if the very thing you're so narrow, focused, and specialized in becomes no longer relevant? There was once a time where a telephone operator was a job which was really specialized, right? So before we had regular telephones, there used to be telephone operators who would connect you from one city to the other while making a call. Now that job has been rendered irrelevant by technology, and possibly what you do could be rendered irrelevant by technology. So the need to learn and relearn has increased a lot, and traditional education has not prepared you to take failure properly. There's a very negative connotation towards trying something new and failing at it, which is why we want to play it safe most of the time and don't want to get started with something new. How do you overcome this is something I'm still struggling with, because I haven't really established any business as such, and even as I speak in front of you right now, I have no idea for what this channel is supposed to be. Currently, it's just me expressing my thoughts, trying to get viewers with whom I can connect with. But what the concrete future of this channel is something I've not yet decided. But if you have decided to give me your time so far watching this video, thank you so much, and I hope you stay tuned for more videos that are to come.